Ray, good to see you. How are you?
I'm doing good, man.
Welcome to Bellator.
Yeah, man, it's good to be here. I'm excited.
Talk to me about that. A lot of years in the competition, and then a few fights elsewhere, and now you're back on the big stage again. So tell me a little bit about just kind of your feelings going into the new environment and kind of getting the feel for Bellator for the first time.
It's great. I've been in the sport a long time. Fought at a very high level for quite a while. Fought some great competition. So it kind of feels just getting right back into the mix. Bellator's great. Been really good, great staff and all that. So at the end of the day, it's all the same. Still a fight.
Did you have other options that you were looking at? And if so, what made Bellator stand apart from everybody else?
Yeah, there was a couple options on the table. But I went with Bellator because, at the end of the day, I'm not really in this business to just, rack up all these regional wins or, random promotion wins. I'm in this business to beat the best that there is. That's one thing I was very fortunate with, outside of my UFC run, is getting paired up with great competition. That's one thing I didn't want to do, is I didn't want to go backwards in pay, and I didn't want to go backwards in competition. Mainly the competition. So Bellator really kind of struck me because, it's the lighter weights here are just really developing really well. And, they're probably some of the highest level dudes in the world. And that's why I wanted to compete against.
They didn't give you a gimme right out of the gate. They, just like you're saying, you wanted good competition. They set you up with a former champ, right? So talk to me about the matchup and how important it was to be able to have a big name like that and not just be kind of maybe a regional talent that's coming in here for the first time.
Yeah, honestly, I would have been kind of bummed if they didn't give me someone like Horiguchi. Like I said, I've been in the sport a long time. I fought some really high level competition, and the fact that me and Horiguchi hadn't even fought in the past to begin with was surprising. So I couldn't have asked for a better opportunity to make my Bellator debut against, Horiguchi. He's a great fighter. He's been in the sport a long time. He's a veteran as well. And, I just think it's a great matchup.
You also are here with your debut in the promotion on maybe the biggest fight in your division in the history of the company, because it's the tournament final and all that. So you've got names that you're going to have to think about in the future that are right here with you this weekend. So talk to me a little bit about, you win this week, that there's going to be a while before the title picture is settled. So do you feel like this is a shot to get one right out of the gate, get a couple more, and by the time the belts are unified, suddenly you're right there in the title picture?
Yeah. I don't see why this fight, winning this fight wouldn't throw me right in that mix, no matter what happens. I don't really know what's going to happen, but I don't see why winning this fight wouldn't catapult me to, the front of the line, or at least close to the front of the line. So, there's some good fights this weekend in terms of those divisions. But, right now I have my eyes set on Horiguchi, and then we'll worry about all that later.
Obviously, divisional talk. You've been around, Ray. You've competed 135, 125, the best in the world, all over the world. I've been covering you for a while, and I know you always get questions on weight, so I don't want to ask that. You're a pro. You know what's up. But can I ask you about the decision as far as weight classes go? Was this something Bellator offered? Obviously, Bellator, Horiguchi. What's not to dislike about that, to your point? But did you have intentions on perhaps giving a flyweight another try in the future regardless? Or what's your stance on that?
Yeah, that was always, it was one of those weird situations considering my track record and my history with, weights and all that. 25 has always been on the back of my mind. That's kind of why I got in the sport. That's, what I'd set out to do was be, 125-pound champion. But, things change, and, I like 35 as well. So 25 wasn't ever out of the question. It was always on the table, but, I've made a home at 35 for, the last 4 or so years. So Bellator offered me this fight, and, I just take what I'm given, it was a great opportunity, great opponent. And it was one of those things that I didn't want to say no to.
Awesome. And sticking on preparation, I remember interviewing you before your world title fight with DJ at this weight. And you said hunting and game meat was kind of a way to help like your diet and whatnot. Just curious, do you still do any hunting or at least incorporate any game meat into the diet for these weight classes?
I haven't really incorporated a whole lot of game meat into my diets. mainly because New Mexico, where I'm from, has like a really weird hunting. Well, not weird, but they have, a hunting draw. So when, you put in, you draw. And unfortunately, I've had no luck. So I can't even, get my own game meat unless I have a relative that wants to give it to me. But no, I've just been, just casual dieting.
Sure, yeah, those gaming tags. I know what you mean. But as far as prepping for the inside the fight and that game, so to speak, can you tell us who you're training with, where you're training with? Obviously, some New Mexico names that people recognize and respect, like John Dotson, but up and comers, coaches, location. What's been going on?
Yeah, so I've been doing everything out of a Smart Jits Academy. My jiu-jitsu coach Rafael Freitas is an amazing coach, a really renowned jiu-jitsu coach, and we've been doing everything out of there. John Dotson's been a huge help for this camp. I also have my wrestling coach, Kino Veneer, my striking coach, Ryan Cafaro. So I've put together a really solid team for this camp.
And last one for me, obviously Horiguchi is the name we're focused on. Obviously, you guys have shared some venues as far as like prior promotions. Is he a guy that's name's been on your list, or do you kind of like not focus until there's a contract in front of you?
It was always a name that was on my list of guys who I thought I would potentially fight. To be honest, Sergio Pettis was higher on the list than what Horiguchi was, just because, timeline wise, we were just right there neck and neck the entire time. But, Horiguchi kind of faded on my mind just because it just really seemed like a fight that was never going to happen. And then, here we are X amount of years later, and, the sport's unpredictable, and we're going to make a fun fight.
Jay Anderson.
Hey, Ray, thanks very much for the time. I spoke to Kyoji before the Japan card, and he really wanted to push for Bellator to open up the flyweight division. I'm just curious as to what's been said on that front to you.
I'll be totally honest. Not much has been said to me at all. I'm not really worried about that right now. My only goal is just winning this fight. I'm still new to the promotion. I'm still the new guy around here. So whatever happens. If they end up doing a 25-pound division and whatnot, then I'll come in and, take that over as well. But right now I'm just focused on, winning a fight. That's all I really care about.
Patrick.
It's your first fight in Bellator and you get the number 6 guy. How many fights do you think you are away from a title shot with a win here?
I mean, arguably 1, maybe 2, who knows? I'm not really paying too much attention to the belts and the rankings, to be honest. Until you said it, I didn't even think about what he was ranked, or, I even kind of forgotten that he was the Bellator champ for a while, because I'm just focused on winning fights, man. That's what I do. Is at the end of the day, I'm really, really good at winning fights. So that's all that's been on my mind, is winning this fight. So, winning this fight, I'm sure it'll catapult me, 1 or 2 fights from the possible title shot.
Jake.
Hey, Ray. First of all, man, very sorry to hear about Duke.
Oh, yeah, man. I appreciate that.
And with his energy, I hope it carries into fight week. And I just have a question about one of your teammates, Ryan Cafaro of Cage Fury. Apparently, he's next for a title shot. What is it like training with him, and how do you feel about his career?
Yeah, that's news to me, but I guess good for him. I mean, I'm happy for him, and I hope he gets his title shot. And kind of a random question, but no, he's good, man. He's got a really brilliant mind for the game. He's really good at breaking things down, super, super technical in terms of like teaching it or even dissecting fight footage and things like that. So it's been great to have him aboard.
Mills.
Hey, how's it going, Ray?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. MMA Locker Room, part of Puff Sports Radio, man. We've been following your career now for a while, and it seems like, that smile that you got on that stage is genuine right now. Seeing that, a lot of other fighters come from other organizations, and they seem to love it over here at Bellator. Corey Anderson is still revving about all the benefits and pay about Bellator and stuff like that. With that being said, your opponent, you guys have the same amount of losses, both 5 losses, but he doubles your amount in wins. How is the Taz Mexican Devil's Pace going to win this fight against Kyoji Horiguchi this Saturday in Hawaii?
I would say, he's just been in the game a little bit longer than I have. We both fought veterans, but I think one thing that's going to be the difference between the two of us is, one thing that it was like a mental realization over the last few years is, excuse my language, but I'm a fucking dog when I'm in there, and that's what I bring to the table is, he's going to try and hit me with stuff, blitzes, whatever. But I'm just a dog in there, and I think that's going to be a big difference.
Marty.
Hey Ray, you've got a lot of steam coming into this fight. Obviously, a few wins in the last few fights. Do you put any more pressure on yourself to make a statement and to get that finish this weekend?
There's always pressure to perform, especially in a new promotion. Like no matter what the promotion is, if it's your debut, there's always pressure to perform. There's always pressure, but I really thrive under pressure. I'm a killer be killed fighter, and it doesn't matter what's going on. It can be under bright lights. It could be, down the street at the 7-Eleven. It doesn't matter. I'm here to throw down and have some fun and win a fight.
Ronald.
This is Ronald E. Smith from Getting Real. Ray, back in September, you posted that you wanted to go back to the UFC, and we see you right now in Bellator. At any point, did UFC ever offer you a contract, or did Bellator just give you more of a contract?
No, the UFC didn't offer me a contract.
Thank you.
Zach.
Hey Ray, how you doing, man?
Good. How are you?
Of course, Horiguchi is a great opponent, but what do you think separates you from your opponent in terms of skill and abilities?
I think I'm actually just more well-rounded, like obviously Horiguchi is a great mixed martial artist, but I really do feel like I have the advantage pretty much everywhere. Like really thinking about it, like I'm not trying to be one of these guys that's like, oh, I'll beat this guy everywhere. I'm going to, mop the floor with them. You really dissecting it. I think I have the more technical striking. Obviously I have the better wrestling and ground game. And I just truly feel like I'm better than almost anybody everywhere. That's the thing that separates me from a lot of these people is I am great everywhere.
Tom.
Hey Ray, Tom Clark over at TFCIV MMA. I just want to do, in your time in Eagle, you fought twice within a 3-month span. Now that you're back in Bellator, it's been about a year since you've been in the cage. Are you looking to stay active like you have been in the past in the new promotion? Yes.
I'm trying to be as active as I can. I'm only 29. I'm going to be 30, but sometimes I feel like I'm 40. This sport takes a toll on you. So I want to get in. I want to get all these great fights. I want to mix it up, and I want to do really good things, and I want to do it fast.
Thank you, Ray.